Okay, this orchid had a lot of mealybugs on it. I have never had to deal with mealybugs, and then I realized I should have just started filming it. So I cut off my beautiful flowers off of my orchid, and I have completely pulled him out of his pot. So his roots are completely exposed, and I'm going to wash him off in the sink. All the mealybugs was really in the flowers, and it had white flowers, so it was really hard to tell. But I figure since I've had it for a little while and I don't have that problem with any of my other plants, it was probably in the dirt. So I dumped out the dirt, and I'm going to wash this off and clean everything, and then we'll get back to you. Okay, there are still some right here. There's still some right here on the back of the plant. It looks like this white, almost like mold, but it's really, really gross. So the way we solve this is we just wash it off. And make sure we get it off all the way. It washes off. If you can wash your plant, you should. Not all plants can tolerate being washed. And I'm going to rinse out its roots. Just to make sure. Okay, we're just going to make sure we got it all off, because I got some dry spots here. It looks like dust. Okay, so looks like we're all clean now on the leaf and on all sides. So there's no residue left on the plant itself. So that's good. And like I said, most of the problem was above these stems that I had to cut off my beautiful flowers, which is so sad because orchids are hard to get to flower, and I had such beautiful white and pink flowers on them. So this plant is all clean now. I don't see any more residue of mealybugs on it. So now we will repot this and see how it goes. Okay, these are the mealybugs. Can you see them? All that white stuff on the back. And I didn't notice it because my plant was like this, looking gorgeous like normal. But if I turned it around to see behind it, which is against a wall, I would have seen all of this gross mealybug infestation. This is bad. Not good. And so I had to cut off these gorgeous flowers. They were so pretty. So hard to get orchids to bloom. And these ones were blooming so lovely. And I knew it had to be too good to be true. Because, yeah, mealybugs everywhere. So I chopped this off, tossed it, cleaned up the orchid, and then now we're gonna replant it, and I'm just gonna get rid of this guy because ew. Okay, now we're going to plant our little orchid, okay? So I took all of my utensils because this is what he was in, and I have these little clips that hold the flowers on. I washed these, I sanitized them with, sprayed them clean, sanitized the clips, cleaned and sanitized everything so that nothing has residue of the mealybugs on it anymore. And I might cut this damaged leaf off because they tend to like damaged spaces. So I'll probably end up cutting this leaf off. Pause. Yep, I'm gonna have to go get scissors. Wait. Let's do this. Okay. I'm gonna cut this off now. So I'm gonna cut just clean off. Yep. So I'm just gonna cut. Okay. Now it has cleaned up all the mealybugs, so it should be able to do just fine in its pot. So I'm going to put it back in the same pot it was in. That I washed and sanitized so that it wouldn't still have anything with the mealybugs in it. Okay, so now we are potted into this dirt. This is not special orchid dirt. I know you can buy special dirt, and it's usually often just wood chips that orchids are in. But I have grown orchids in just regular potting soil. You just keep it on the really dry side. So, okay, oops, I got a little bit of dirt in there. So now I've got this guy repotted. Put him in here, and we'll twisting them and pushing them down gently because I don't want to stab the roots. They're actually pretty thick roots, and I don't want that would be bad. So, okay. And these little clips are nice. Orchids always come with these little clippy things. They remind me of like how I used to do my hair as a little kid in the 90s. So we'll clip this on really gently, and we'll watch how it does. And this, I always make sure my plants don't touch other plants. I know I have plants that are really close together, but I make sure that their leaves are not touching until they have been here long enough to make sure that they didn't bring any weird things with them that I just didn't see because when I buy plants, I make sure to look at the dirt, look all over the plant, make sure there's not anything weird growing on it, no bugs, no abnormal things in the dirt, but that it's just growing like a beautiful plant should. But then it's also a wise practice to kind of keep your new plants away from your old plants. And here's why. Because mealybugs like this on this plant is really, I think this is going to go really smooth. I've never dealt with mealybugs before, but I honestly think this will be just fine because the type of plant this is really easy to wash. It's not a difficult one. I completely uprooted the whole thing. I washed the whole thing over, and then I can replant it, and it can handle that just fine, whereas other plants couldn't handle that kind of washing as well. So this was a good first run for mealybugs, but I've had houseplants for several years now, and I've just never had any problems with bugs at all. So there's a first for everything. And so this should be just fine. We'll check in with this one later, but I think we have a healed orchid. And I've got a little tiny sprout coming in right here that I made sure to not cut off when I was cutting it because I really want some flowers on my orchids. It's so hard to get them to flower. So I saved this little node that's growing right there. So hopefully that will just take off and I'll have beautiful flowers again. But now I know to keep a lot closer eye for the back side of the plant, because when you have these just sitting beautifully like this and there's just the wall back here, it's hard. You don't ever turn the plant around to check the back side, and that's where like bugs like to hide in spots where you can't see them. So there we go. That's how we take care of mealybugs. You can use pesticides and like neem oil and stuff like that to take care of mealybugs, but mealybugs wash off pretty easily. It was not hard to wash them off. They run right off in the water. So if you have a plant that can be washed, I would wash it first, and then if you feel like it's not going to be good enough to wash it, then I would take it this step further and do the neem oil or any other type of pesticide basically to get rid of it that's made for houseplants, you know, and then take it from there. But I think on plants like this, just washing it all down, dumping out all of the dirt, and throwing all of that out so that it doesn't get on anybody else should solve our problem with this guy. So I'll see you guys again. Good luck. Back on the shelf where I'm going to keep a much closer eye on this little beauty. Hope this video helps you guys handle your mealybugs. Let me know how things go.